Dive. To dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Welcome back, and look who I have here with me today. It's one of the reasons that Tuesdays are my favorite. Hi, RJ.
Hey, Adam.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Good. I like the shirt. You look like you... Is that see-through?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. It's
Quarantine has you just coming out with it now, huh?
It really does, actually. I'm really trying to embrace my body.
Okay.
So, for the
like
first time, I've never been that type of person, but I want to be that type of person now.
I actually was never that type of person either, since you touched on it. But you have kind of pushed me to think outside of the box. So with that, and while we're waiting for everybody to get in here, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, hit that like button, show some love. Yeah. We're going to do a little bit of unboxing before we jump into the Real Housewives of Atlanta, because RJ sent me a gift.
Yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to show you because I'm so excited. So guys, if you remember, RJ had his mirror on here, and I was like, that mirror is so cool. I want one, obviously. And he's like, I'll get you one. But we hear that all the time, right? Where people are like, oh, yeah, you like it? Girl, I'll get you one. Don't worry about it. And I was like, oh, you know, that's really sweet of him, but I'll never see a mirror. But fit! Here it is. I just wanted to bring it out. Have you seen it?
I saw in the beginning stages.
It is so freaking cute. So I will be using this mirror this whole time.
Look at that!
Isn't it so cute? Look at this!
Oh my gosh!
I can just look at myself all day. I'm so excited.
You gotta do the mirror on the wall.
What do I do?
Just say it. Mirror on the wall.
Okay, ready? Can you count me in?
Okay. 5. Just like your intro. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Mirror on the wall. Who's the shadiest bitch on YouTube of them all? Well, not me. That's why I'm still here. Just kidding. No, seriously, thank you so much. This is so awesome. And guys, I'll even post a photo on here. My dogs are on here, Harlow and Theo. Home is where the dog is, my logo. And it's a full-fledged mirror, so I can be even more vain than I already am. Jason's going to love that for me. Thank you, RJ.
You're welcome, dear. And if you all want your mirror, go to Instagram and type in Entertainment Unfiltered and message Denise, and she will happily make you one.
Yes. Thank you, Denise. We love you. I'm
also
awesome? Yes, I honestly love this. And message me on Instagram after this. That way I can add that link into the chat.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, good morning. I'm going to hold this mirror the whole time just because I need a prop and I love it. I've also had my smoothie. Thank you, Jason. So I have a lot of energy. I'm ready to go, RJ. Shall we break this down? I know.
All I need is a man who can make me smoothies, and I'll be stacked.
Yeah, it sounds a lot better than it actually is, trust me. No, I'm just kidding. But I have an opportunity to do a good segue here, so I'm going to take it. Since we're talking about needing a man that's going to do something for you, let's talk about Miss Cynthia Bailey.
Okay.
In this wedding.
Yes.
Okay. So Cynthia Bailey is in this episode, obviously gearing up for her wedding, but this poor woman, anything that could go wrong is going wrong, right? So Hurricane Delta is coming, dresses aren't fitting, suits aren't fitting. I mean, best men are dropping out, bridesmaids are dropping out. It just seems like everything is happening. And now all of a sudden we start this episode off with the rehearsal dinner, and the rehearsal dinner is pretty much a Papa John's pizza party.
Right.
Yes, there's nothing really glamorous about that. Even though I love a good pizza party, it seems like Cynthia is sort of down in the dumps. But they didn't miss an opportunity to film, did they?
They did not.
No. Okay, so I wanted to bring up the fact, just because this is going on, I like how, I know that you didn't watch the last season or the season before, but are you familiar with Eva Marcel?
Yeah, I met Eva years ago when she first after Top Model, and I was hosting for some fashion show, and I met her then.
Nice.
She out off the market.
Was she sweet or was she?
She was very spicy.
Oh, okay.
It was like how you saw her on Top Model.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So old school Eva,
old school Eva.
Yeah,
she was cool though. Cool, but real spunky.
Yeah, but old school Eva would have lasted on Real Housewives of Atlanta because old school Eva would have dragged somebody down the aisle. Yes. New school Eva is a little bit more reserved. She kind of has these little shady remarks, but she's really not going to do anything. So, yeah, she lost her peach.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Well, Eva did show up to Cynthia's rehearsal dinner, and she had that snatch body. She was looking amazing. And honestly, it looked like she was trying to get her peach back. When she came in and they were sparking up the conversations, well, after Kenya and Candy came, she was asking about the headlines of Bolo. And my freaking God, I am so sick of hearing about Bolo at this point. It's almost like Puppygate, Pantygate. Again, I told you, there's always a storyline for all of these franchises where it just kind of plays out the whole season. We saw it on Potomac. We always see it, but we're still talking about it. So I'm glad we sort of had a little bit of a transition this episode. Even though they still brought it up, it wasn't as talked about.
Right. Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah. Thank God. Seriously. But I do want to touch on the fact again, going back to Eva. Eva immediately is pushed into a situation of filming right away with Kenya. Cynthia's like, girl, sit down. I'll go grab you a drink. I'm going to go inside real quick. Comes back out, sits in between them. I feel like she's trying to set her friend back up to be on the show, sort of. Yeah. And I mean, at least that's what it kind of felt like to me.
It did kind of seem like that. But Eva was definitely biting the bait and doing what she needed to do to potentially secure some type of peach. I mean, she was going for it. I was like, wow. I was like, okay, this is entertaining.
Absolutely. And I also wanted to touch on the fact, though, since we're talking about this wedding, two things. One, I love Porsha's idea of, hey, listen, if I'm going to a wedding and my ex is going, I'm sorry. Listen, I'm not trying to outdo the bride, but I'm going to be the best looking one there. I was like, yeah, if my ex was going, I would show up and I would be like, I would show up in a suit that I couldn't even afford. I would look damn good. The next day I'd be worrying about how I'm going to pay for it, but I'd be looking damn good.
But why?
I don't know, just to be like, you can't have me, bitch. Like that. You know? I would totally do that. And Porsha coming the way that she looked snatched. Her hair looked great. I mean, even though she had to wear a mask over it, she looked phenomenal. So good for you, Porsha. This is why Porsha is probably my favorite this season. Yeah. And I do also want to point out, since we are, of course, this episode really focused around Cynthia Bailey's wedding. And guys, if you remember, Cynthia's wedding was technically supposed to be filmed. It was supposed to be a part of this season. And when the castmates film their weddings, there's sort of this rumor out there that the networks will assist in a certain capacity with something to do with the wedding, whether it's the venue or food, drinks, something. But with this, since Bravo didn't technically put their film crew in there, I heard that Cynthia didn't really get any freebies. Now, again, I didn't ask Cynthia myself, but what we do know is Cynthia had to hire her own film crew to get the footage that she wanted to play out on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, I know somewhere in Atlanta, there's Nene Leakes sitting on her white couch laughing her ass off like, girl, you tried. I had my own special. You tried. They didn't want to film it. It wasn't interesting. And I feel bad for her.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the whole thing, having a wedding during the pandemic and all the things that went wrong, you know, if anybody was superstitious, they would have some things to say about all of this, because it was a lot of stuff that just didn't happen the way that Cynthia panned out. And it was just like, wow.
Well, exactly. And, you know, Cynthia said something that she's getting a lot of flack for right now. I know that you said originally you had a friend or friends who attended the wedding. I don't know if they were guests or if they worked the wedding or what the case is. If I had friends that attended the wedding, they'd probably be working it, catering it or something. But you had friends that attended the wedding and you talked about how this had to be a safe wedding, that they took the proper precautions for COVID, right? Cynthia made a mistake in her confessional. And guys, before I say that mistake or point it out, go ahead, hit that like button, show some love for RJ and I, and let's just get straight to it. Cynthia said in her confessional that they were trying to make sure that all of their guests were COVID tested, that they were going to make sure that everyone had masks, at least at the wedding, and they had temperature takers. So they were doing the right things, but how she ended that off, and she could have left this out because now people are sort of attacking her for having a 200-person wedding during a global pandemic. She said, listen, can I make all of my guests get tested? No, I can't. I can't force them to, but we highly suggested that all of our guests get tested. That's where she lost people, because one, just leave that out of there. Don't even tell us that, right? Just say that everybody had to. I mean, I'm not saying go ahead and lie. Don't even lie. Just say, you know what? We had the thermometers, we had the masks, and we were taking all the proper precautions for COVID. Boom. But now just adding that tidbit in, people are going in. They were even talking about it. People were going in when they were filming the episode. Just to pan back over, when Cynthia was sitting down with Eva and Kenya, and they were talking about how Wendy Williams was going in on her.
Yep.
What do you expect?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen. We're still in a pandemic. Like, and she opened up the floodgates to that by saying what she said. When I heard her say that, I cringed. I was like, oh my God, girl, no.
Yeah, I was like, why? So you caught it.
Of course I caught it, honey. I was like, why? Why would you say that? Is there nobody around to let you know, girl, like that's not something that you need to be saying right now? Like, did you prepare that?
Right. And, this is a confessional where they have, they don't go in knowing the questions that they're going to be asked, but usually how these confessionals work, the producers will sit back and they'll play a piece of footage, for them. They have the screens right in front of them. They show them the clip, and then they ask them, what were you thinking in that moment? Or how did you feel? And that's how they get the genuine reactions of like when they're laughing or they roll their eyes, or because they get to show them the footage right in the moment. So you've seen the footage. You remember back when you're sitting there in your Timberlands, your nice little jean jumpsuit, you remember how you felt when Wendy Williams was putting this in the press, and not in a good way. Especially, listen, if Wendy Williams talks about you, be scared because usually if she talks about you, it's something shady. It's nothing to really be applauded. I mean, sometimes she has like a good moment where she will, but most of the time she's like, what the hell are they doing? Like she puts you on blast. That's when, watch the documentary. This is why she's famous. She completely holds no bars in any conversation. She just does not. I want to bring this up really quick. Thank you so much, Shay D. I like that. For the super chat. So glad I've caught it live with you guys. It's afternoon here in the UK, watching whilst having a late lunch. Well, enjoy your lunch, and thank you so much for watching. And also, if you missed it, I got a new mirror. Okay, okay, just moving on really quick. No, so she did get a lot of crap about this, and Kenya pointed it out too. You're having a pandemic, or you're having a wedding amidst a global pandemic. I know that you wanted this to play out as a part of a storyline, but was it important enough to have everybody on your ass about it? Just to be fair, RJ, if you were Cynthia, would you have went through with it knowing that you're filming, you pitched this to the network as a part of your storyline for this season, things are starting to go wrong? At some point, would you have retracted and been like, listen, we have to call this off? Or would you have just been like, it's too late. We're deep in this. It is what it is. Let's just move forward.
That's a good question. If I was Cynthia, oh God.
Yeah.
Can I reserve my answer?
You can plead the fifth. Thank God we're in America. You have the opportunity to plead the fifth.
I think the reason why I'm pleading the fifth is not because it's because that's a lot to think about. I'm really trying to put myself in her shoes and where she's at in her point of life. And what's going on at this period in time in history. I would have to process that before I give an answer. I would say that I probably would move forward, but I would take precautions, like big precautions. Like she said that she wouldn't force anybody to take tests. I would also limit my number. And I might also change the location. And when I say limit my number, I mean like less than 100, like way less than 100. Whoop. And also location, meaning somewhere where there's no hurricane coming and somewhere where I can have it outside.
Right. Okay. Well, they wanted the option to have it inside or outside, but right. Hurricane Delta coming obviously mess that up. See, I have a theory here. Thank you, Sexy Slimes. Hi, Adam and RJ. It's Trisha. Love you both. Hi, Trisha. Thank you for the super chat. I have a theory here. When you say going on with the wedding, I just want to copy you in terms of saying that. No, 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 no. I think that because she had the 10, 10, 20 earrings, because she had that perfect date that she had in mind, because she had hashtag 10, 10, 20, hashtag chill wedding, I think she got so wrapped up in the idea of it all. And she loves this man, right? She said she loves the bald spot on his head. She loves his lips, his personality. She loves the man. But I think she got so caught up in selling this date off to everybody that she was like, no way. I mean, listen, if I'm not watching Bravo, I watch Say Yes to the Dress for fun. Some of these women get nuts over their dates, their dresses, their cakes, their men. Like, this is a day that you just do not mess with the bride. And I feel like Cynthia doesn't want to show that. I don't want to call her selfish, sort of selfish side of her, though, knowing like, hey, listen, this could potentially put people at risk. She just wants to focus on her idea of this dream wedding and having the wedding that she didn't technically have to Peter.
Yes. Yeah, perhaps. And let me just clarify, guys, that my answer was if I was Cynthia. Not like totally what I would do per se, but if I was yes, because I want to clarify that. And
you're also lucky I don't ask the mirror, because the mirror's going to say your ass is lying.
No,
I'm going to leave her alone right now.
No, I don't think, if it was me, I don't think that I would wait till the pandemic is over. So over to have the wedding that I wanted.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we see this constantly. Like, I know this is a different network, but TLC's 90 Day Fiance. We see on 90 Day, it's like where people are coming over to the United States. They feel like they have to have this dream wedding within 90 days. No, just get married. If the time doesn't permit, you don't have the right money. There are plenty of couples who put it off. They get married. They solidify their union, and then they have that dream wedding or dream honeymoon. It can still happen, but timing is everything.
Well, a lot of Americans, we have that idea of, first of all, the American dream. That propaganda is implanted in our head at an early age, the American dream. And then, of course, the fairy tale wedding. Like, that's like a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we grew up watching Disney and stuff, fairy tale weddings and blah, blah, blah. So lots of not only women, but also men as well want that whole dreamy aspect of the wedding. And like you said, they get caught up in the idea to no fault of their own. But that's just what happens. And during a pandemic, you just have to really think hard and long about how you're going to handle things and precautions to the max.
Okay, fair. Cool Cat brought this up, and guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, hit that like button, show some love. Cool Cat said way too much for a pandemic, but they were adults and intended at their risk. But why are we making more of an issue with this and not Porsha saying she wants Bolo raw? She is a sorry woman and mom. Ooh.
Really?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't think. Listen, Cool Cat, I have to just wait. Cool Cat said one more thing before I jump in on this. I'm gonna let you. Porsha has a toddler at home and says she wants a stranger raw with no protection, then come for a mom that is taking care of her child. She is getting a pass just like her fake relationship. Okay, so I just want to point this out really quick. And I'm not over here. I'm not on her payroll, almost like Miriam, not paid by Monique. I am not paid by Porsha. Okay, just to be fair. But I wouldn't call Porsha a bad mom at all. I think that some things are said for effect because they're on a show. I actually didn't hear her say the raw comment at all. Did you hear that?
No.
I didn't hear that comment unless I just missed it. But the point is, one, this is a single woman. Whatever she chooses to do in her intimate life, that's on her, right? But then also everywhere she goes, her mom and her sister, that baby is taken care of. She's working. She's supplying for that baby. Enough said, period. There are worse moms out there. I can definitely let you know that. So let's just say that. Kempire Radio said, Cynthia super spreader wedding filled with some of her closest and dearest. I don't know about you, but I don't have over 200 people that close to me. I can count on two hands how many people I have that close to me.
Well, she's Cynthia Bailey, sweetheart. So.
That's true too. That's true. Think about it. She dated Russell Simmons. She was a supermodel. She walked with Naomi Campbell. Like, this is still Cynthia Bailey. She is. You got to give her props. Throw some respect on her name, I guess. Right?
Yes.
All right. So moving on, while the women are together, while the aunties are together getting ready for this wedding, Shamia Morton came in and she's throwing a night in nieces party. Clever. I like the play on words. She kind of gave it a little French theme there, but it's interesting to me. And RJ, I know this is sort of new for you, but Shamia has always sort of been around in the background. She's Porsha's best friend. We've seen her. We've seen her on boats. We've seen her throughout the different seasons, always as just kind of like a tag along for Porsha. But it seems like this season, maybe because we were missing something, it wasn't that interesting. I don't know what it was, but they really went out of their way to give Shamia a chance, letting Shamia film this party at her house in her basement. This was no shade, Shamia. There was nothing glamorous about like the decorations, the party, it just was bad. Like it was so bad that it made like you even have Drew Sidora all pissed off on the couch. Like this was just a bad party. The banners, the balloons, again, no shade, but Party City, like it looked like Party City just came and like threw up in Shamia's basement, probably about $50 worth of props, and boom, we have to get together. It's like, what are we doing? You know, this is one of the reasons that I love watching Housewives is because I love seeing the glamorous life of. I love watching Lisa Vanderpump's dinner parties with the chandeliers hanging out in her garden right next to her pool. Who has that? You know, like I love seeing Nene Leakes white parties. What does she call it? White and gays or something like that? I forgot what it was, but girls and gays, guys, and I don't know what it was, but I love those theme parties where they're nice. You know, even Porsha's sister threw a nicer party for Porsha to celebrate her advocacy for the Black Lives Matter movement. But Shamia, girl, you dropped the ball. Is that fair? You want me to ask the mirror? I'll ask the mirror. The mirror's going to say the same shit. I already asked her.
You know, it wasn't spectacular. It was less than spectacular.
Well, is it? Oh, I thought it was Aisha. Alicia said they tried to keep the camera on their tight. They tried to keep the camera on tight on their faces. Yes, I agree with you. Heather Galindo, hi, welcome. Kim Pyre said, I love Diddy Adam. I'm not being shady.
Adam went in, didn't he? It's that mirror and it's that shirt, honey.
Is it the mirror?
That shirt. Yes. The mirror always gives you extra tings.
I don't know if that's good. I don't know if I need the mirror to make me this like shady ass on here. I look at it and I'm like, no, I'm about to go in. And then I put it down and I'm like, I'm back.
I know. It's crazy.
I'm about to go in.
It's crazy. That mirror does something to you.
Trying to make me make bad decisions and shit on here? All right.
It's not bad decisions. It's just shady decisions.
Sexy Slime said, can we talk about how great Porsha looked at Cynthia's wedding? I think she looked better than the bride. Yes, we said that earlier because I actually celebrated the fact that she wanted to, or acknowledged the fact that she wanted to go to this wedding knowing that her ex was attending the wedding. And she was like, listen, not trying to, outdo the bride, but I'm going to be the best looking one there. Almost like how when Kylie Jenner went to Justin and Hailey Bieber's wedding, like she showed up looking 10 times better than everybody. And everyone was like, you bet. You know what I mean?
Cynthia looked stunning to me.
I thought she looked great. I just didn't understand the half off piece. I guess that's just, did you like that?
I loved everything about I loved everything about what she had going on.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was mesmerizing. I thought that it was, I love sparkly stuff. So it was like sparkly. It was just, it looked well crafted and well stitched and everything. Everything just looked superb to me.
Well, and Jason and I were watching this together and I was actually reading comments too. People didn't realize how big, meaning how tall Cynthia is next to Mike. You see them up there and Cynthia, like, mind you, again, I've met Cynthia a few times now in West Hollywood. And Cynthia, when this woman walks into a room, she's big as far as personality, the energy that she brings. She's a tall one. Like, she is a tall woman. She has a presence. I've not seen anything like it, except for LVP. When LVP walks in a room, she's not a big woman, but she has that presence. And when Cynthia walks in, she's just glowing. She commands the room. And you could totally see in this wedding where she did the exact same thing. But people are surprised at her height. But also, guys, remember, she was a supermodel.
We have to keep reminding people.
Yeah, she has height. Okay. Getting back real quick to the night and niece's party. Just bring that back up. Drew was the first to arrive. She was excited about being the first to arrive, but probably not excited about getting technically, I was going to call it a tacky sort of Henley sweater, but it sort of looks like the one I'm wearing now, except it said like Diva on it and stuff. But Shamia tried again. She tried. All of the women are starting to show up. Marlo was not wearing this thing. She still did it. But my question is, why was Marlo even at the night and niece's party? Why weren't you at the auntie's party? That's not shady. That is not shady. She is not a neat. I got to get this mirror out of here.
Well, there has to be an auntie to supervise nieces.
She didn't supervise anything. She walked around the couch while, like Porsha said, Drew was about to take LaToya for Never Ever to Chi-Town.
I know. I'm just trying to come up with some excuse. I don't know.
I do have to. I want to point out. I love, again, I am on a Porsha high right now because I love that Porsha is sitting there and they're all sitting there. Guys, if you missed the episode, it's Shamia, it's Drew Sidora, it's Marlo Hampton, it's Porsha, and also LaToya. They're sitting around talking, and they're talking about the fact that Kenya did a social media post saying it wasn't me. Obviously, She did that because the headlines came out and they were talking about Strippergate, and Kenya was like, it wasn't me. Well, then all of a sudden, right after, Marlo, wasn't me. LaToya for Never Ever, it wasn't me. So these three are kind of jumping on the same bandwagon when really they all made a universal decision to kind of have each other's backs, except for Kenya. But the fact that Marlo and LaToya are jumping in on it too, it's like, what are you doing? And Porsha called it out. Portia's like, this is shady, and you guys are kind of doing a smear campaign. And LaToya's like, no, I didn't have any part of that. And Porsha was looking at her, letting her know, look, girl, at this point, it looks like you kind of have two faces.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Two faces.
Minus her mirror. Yeah. She's trying to play two faces to everybody, and it's just like, it's so obvious.
Yeah, but it's, we said this. I believe we had this conversation. Again, guys, hit that like button. Show some love. 150 in the room. Hit that like button. We talked about this. I felt like Kenya and LaToya would eventually come to an end. I felt like, you can't be friends with Kenya for too long. Eventually, something is going to change, and she's going to, the show is more important than anything, because with that comes a paycheck. That paycheck feeds her baby. I'm going to choose my baby over a new friendship. So just remember that. Okay. My dad always told me this, and I think I said this on here too. Don't tell your best friend your darkest secrets, because one day they might not be your best friend anymore. Don't forget that. LaToya for Never Ever is sitting there, and she's trying to say, you know what? I don't want to talk about this. It didn't bother me. I don't want to talk about the Kenya stuff. And Portia's like, no, we're talking about it. You put this out there. Let's talk about it. And she said, it didn't bother me. Drew said, it did bother you. And that sparks up this whole argument. Do you feel like LaToya kind of felt like she was caught in a rock in a hard place?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah. She was saying one thing, but yet she was trying not to impede on the relationship of the person who she was talking about.
Right.
But she did anyway.
But she did anyways, because she talked about the alimony, which was no one else's business.
Right. After, come on now. Even the person that she brought up, as far as, well, I guess Kenya, then you have the people that don't like Kenya telling you, honey, that's probably not the smartest thing you should do. That is, oh my, how embarrassing is that?
Especially when it's Drew Sidora sitting across saying, like, no, what you shouldn't do is probably put out her business. And it's like, oh man, you're completely just, you're putting her on blast. You're making her, it makes her look bad.
It just makes her look untrustworthy.
Well, it makes her look like she's almost at this point going to pull a Giovanna mom pleaser and do whatever she has to do to stay on the show.
No
have to take a sip. I got choked on that.
No friend.
Wow.
You okay?
It's the mirror.
It's the
Sexy
don't
Climate
break it.
said, I love how Porsha checked LaToya and in the same breath defended Kenya. Yes, I agree. And thank you so much for the super chat. And LaToya talks about her friend B. Scott. Now, RJ, do you know of B. Scott?
Yes.
Okay, B. Scott is obviously a blogger, and we find out in this episode is friends with LaToya. B. Scott was one of the first to put out this article, and Porsha and the rest of the women want to know, hey, listen, that's your friend. Where did he get this information? LaToya immediately throws Kenya under the bus, saying, I think Kenya leaked it. Porsha looks at her right in the face and says, I think you leaked it. And she's like, me? And I was like, wow. Then they, of course, Shady Production does B-roll back to Marlo's picnic party, whatever that was. That was worse than Shamia's party. Picnic party, where Kenya was talking about how, listen, if it's Page 6, it's not me. If it's TMZ, if it's B. Scott, maybe. But Page 6, no. Okay, well, it was B. Scott. So who do you think it was at this point? Now that you have seen more episodes, do you feel like it was still Kenya? Do you think it could have been LaToya?
I feel like it was Kenya from the jump.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like Kenya does a very good job at keeping people invested into the franchise. She knows what she's doing. Again, some of these more seasoned housewives, even like Teresa Giudice, they know how to stick that producer's cap on and keep the show going.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to.
Well, okay. LaToya, then after that, this is sort of frustrating because if this were me and that were my friend, I would honestly be pissed off. Because the first time that LaToya was talking about this was with Kandi. Kandi mentioned the alimony before LaToya. LaToya acted like she didn't know anything. And then once she found out Kandi knew, she was like, okay, it's safe to have a conversation. I think that got into her head a little bit as if it's just now universal knowledge. Everyone knows about the alimony thing. And she feels like she can talk about it with everyone. Okay, well, that's obviously not the case because what we see for the upcoming episode is Kenya getting pissed off at this Halloween party or whatever this was because Marlo came to her and let her know exactly what LaToya said. Marlo, you're so shady. I know that they don't give you a peach, but they should.
Yeah.
So shady.
Yeah, and that is going to be so good. I cannot wait to see that.
I also like how Drew is saying, I'm trying to have a moment sort of at Shamia's thing. And she's like, I'm going to the wedding. I'm singing at it. I'm supposed to be singing. It's like, okay, girl, we get it. But then the next day calls and just adds to Cynthia's list of shit and cancels on her to sing for the wedding, saying that her throat doesn't feel good. Yeah, because you're running around Shamia's basement going,
But I was trying to think in my mind the timeline. Was that the night? That was the night before?
That was the night before.
Oh my God. And she told her that she was on vocal rest.
Yes. And come on. And now Cynthia's watching this and she's like, lies. Lies, lies, lies. And
But
Drew,
you could hear, I don't know what time she called her, but you could hear that there was some sort of something going on in her throat.
Yeah, it was called the night before going on in your throat. But listen, it's better than Bolo going on in your throat. So
is it?
Yes. You know what?
Is it?
Don't get me started. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Ask
hold on, Anya and Porsha.
Let me not say too much. I don't want to be considered a bad parent.
My God. All right. Well, let's not be too shady here and shift back over to Cynthia's wedding because that's obviously what this episode sort of focused on. Not even sort of, it focused on. Cynthia's wedding, again, like RJ said, she looked beautiful. The wedding was beautiful. Mike looked amazing. I saw some of the comments in here where people are like, what was with that sparkly jacket? I thought that everything looked great. I honestly thought Mike, I was looking at him. He looked like he had this sort of tufted looking pants. And I don't even know if that's a word. I'm not a fashion guy. Yesterday, I was talking to somebody about getting floors and the guy's from Florida. And I asked him, I said, can you do like chevron? And he's like, what is chevron? And I was like, like this, like a V. And he's like, that's called herringbone. We're not fancy like you from California. I was like, I'm not from California. I just don't know the terminology.
Right.
But it's
some fancy floors.
Yeah. What? No, we're not going with the herringbone. No. But no, moving on. Back to the wedding. I don't want to make it about my floors, but back to the wedding. Okay. Cynthia's vows, I thought they were cute. You know, Cynthia, what did she say? He said, we're not perfect, but we're perfect for each other. And then Cynthia was just like, long story short, I love you. Just ready. Like, let them eat cake. I was like, yeah, that's my kind of wedding. Have you ever been to a wedding, RJ, where you go in and the ceremony is like an hour and a half, 2 hours long? You just want to like rip your head off. I want to be out of this.
Yes. And I'm the type of person, just so you know, if you ever invite me to a wedding in the future, anyone, if you see me get up and leave a couple of times, that means that I'm ready to go. I will get up and leave and go to the bathroom or go outside and continuously do that until it's over. Okay.
Well, if somebody asked me that, I would say no, because no one's ever invited me to their wedding. So
what?
Actually, that's not true. I got invited to Sheena's wedding for Vanderpump Rules, and it was like a last minute invite. It was the year before I started working, or it was
a
the
last minute invite.
Yeah, it was almost like, and no shade, Sheena, I love you, but it was almost like somebody couldn't make it. And then she came up to me at the host stand at Sir, and she's like, hey, good news. Like, you're invited to my wedding. And I'm like, oh, that's amazing. And then she showed me the app where you can go on her registry for her wedding gift. And she had this amazing, she had this app. I swear to, I'm saying too much, but it's.
And this is pre-pandemic.
She had this app, and kudos to her because it paid for a lot of her honeymoon and stuff like that. But it was like an app where you could go on, sign in like this code, know that it was hers, and then you could send them stuff. So like we're going on honeymoon, you could buy like zip line for them, or you could buy a couple's massage. And I was looking through and I was like, all the cheap shit has already been bought. Looking at the expensive stuff. And then I was like, I just moved to LA from Tennessee with a U-Haul attached to the back of my Ford Fusion, driving across the country. I cannot afford your massage. I never even had a massage. Girl, I'm not going to your wedding. So I didn't go to the wedding.
Honey.
That was the wedding I've been invited to.
Honey. Adam does not, come on. Does Adam seem like a last minute invite? How dare you?
I guess 20-year-old host Adam did. 27-year-old Adam with the bad mirror doesn't seem like last minute invite. Invite me last minute.
Don't worry, Adam. You will be invited to weddings, and you will be not invited last minute, child. Just keep living.
And if you're gonna invite me last minute, lie to me.
Right.
Just lie to me. I don't even care if you invite me last minute. Just don't let me know. Don't walk up and be like, so crazy. A spot just opened up. It's like, I'm not waiting at Orange Theory to get off the wait list. What? Get out of here.
I can't wait until our story time because we got so many stories that we got to get into, honey.
My gosh.
Not cool.
Kempire said people's tacky side comes out when it comes to their weddings. Okay. Don't invite me to any weddings. Haha. Yeah. Weddings and baby showers. I'm good, guys. All right, just moving on really quick. I wanted to point out something because Eva took this moment to have a moment. She took Cynthia Bailey's wedding to have a moment with this Cindy Lou Who updo. I don't know what it was. It kind of gave me Kim Kardashian vibes in that photo shoot where she pops the champagne and it's going on her butt. You remember where she had the hair up? Isn't that what she kind of looked like?
You said Cindy Lou.
Cindy Lou Who. That's who she reminded me of.
That is so shady.
That's not shady. It's this damn mirror. It's the mirror. I don't know. I didn't even do anything different today. I had espresso. I always have espresso. Jason made me a shady smoothie. Maybe that's what it is. I think it's the mirror.
Cindy Lou, you took me back, boo.
Oh my gosh. I thought she looked great. I was just complimenting the Cindy Lou Who do.
She did have that shady moment. And I don't know if she was purposely looking for that moment. I think
she was looking for that moment. Come on.
No, because first of all, it's a wedding. You get involved in all of these conversations at weddings. You're drinking, you're having a good time, you're living in a moment. Things are bound to be said, especially if you're mic'd. Like, you just kind of forget, right?
Well, you do, unless you've been a part of a reality show for the majority of your career. America's Next Top Model, you're mic'd. Real Housewives of Atlanta, you're mic'd. When Nene Leakes went up to Eva Marcille and her husband out in the parking lot talking to them about the business of Eva's ex trying to locate their home, Eva said, "Are you mic'd? Are you mic'd?" And Nene was like, "No, girl, I'm not mic'd." She was still mic'd. Eva knows about a good mic. She knew when she was having this conversation she was mic'd. And I honestly feel like, again, if she was taken off the show. There are a handful of housewives who have left the franchise. I don't even think Actually, I don't even think there's a handful. I think Bethany Frankel might be the only one who has actually left the Real Housewives. And Tinsley Mortimer left mid-season of New York, but she knew, honestly, Tinsley didn't have another season left in her. They weren't going to keep her around once they found somebody more interesting. Now that they just added Ebony K. Williams and Bershawn, like they weren't going to bring Tinsley back. It just wasn't going to happen. So I feel like with Eva, she's trying to fight to get her peach back. Again, with that peach, someone said to me in my comments the other day, because I was talking about this, and I said some of these housewives command up to $1 million contracts. And they're like, no, they don't get paid in the millions. Yes, they do. Denise Richards was offered a $4 million contract. Mind you, she's Denise Richards. Nene Leakes was getting paid, I think, upwards of 1.6, 1.7 million for her last seasons. Teresa Giudice makes over $1 million per season. Bethany Frankel was making over $1 million. If you are interesting enough, or if you're leading the pack, you do make the money that comes with it. And I think that's why Bravo started weeding out some of their OGs, because the budget was getting ridiculous.
That's seems like a logical thing to do.
Right? I mean, I don't know. I'm curious, though, what Porsha's getting paid, because I don't know if you and I have talked about this, but there's a rumor mill sort of circulating right now. Kempire on here talked about it too, and he feels like, well, let me tell you what it is first. Porsha took Bravo chat room and Bravo off of her Instagram bio. She still has Dish Nation. She still has her other things that she is a part of, her other businesses or ventures, and she took off Bravo. Everyone was like, do you think she's fired? Did she walk away from the show? And Kempire said, I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Kempire said, I think that she's doing this as leverage, either as leverage to get a better paycheck for next season because they need her, or she's just doing it to get the rumor circulating in order to cause more attention to the franchise.
Is Bravo chat room canceled? Or is it just over with the season?
No, they're still doing Bravo chat room.
Oh.
And she's still on Real Housewives of Atlanta. So why would she take off Real Housewives of Atlanta and Bravo's chat room?
Maybe to make more space in her bio.
Don't make me pull out the mirror. You're going to make me go all the way left over here.
Honey, sometimes you got to make more space in the bio, honey. I had to do that too.
Okay.
I had to take out my location and everything. I was like, bitch, that's too much information.
Yeah, no, don't put your location in there. You don't want that. No.
Story time.
I was going to say, I live in a condo building for a reason, because we have security. Ain't nobody touching my ass. It's not happening. Unless I drive out the gates, then I guess I'm a free target, which I don't like that. I don't like
boo.
That's why you get Uber Eats and you send out, you got to get a Jason. Because if you have a Jason, you send her out.
Jason, let me know if you got a friend, honey.
Friend for what?
What you mean?
What do you think that this is not The Bachelor? What is this? You think this is your own personal dating show? We're trying to hook you up on here? Wait.
You said get a Jason.
Oh. RJ, before we jump back into the Porsha thing, have you ever been on a blind date?
No.
Oh my God, I would never.
I wouldn't say I would never. I could never. I'm so socially awkward. I've been going through this weird thing lately, and I've been having conversations about it with my family, with Jason, a lot of people, because I can come on here and I'm so comfortable. But then, like when I go in front of people, or if I'm out in a social setting, I'm so awkward and I don't know how to talk to people, and I'm just weird. Like the other day, where was I? I was at the gym and I was just trying to do stretches and like do weird things. And there was this woman in my building, and I've seen her a couple times, and she's always talking to everybody and she smiles real big. And I told her, like, one time she came up to me because I had a water canteen bottle and it said Kettle One vodka on it. And she's like, are you drinking vodka in the gym? Haha. And I was like, no way, I wish. Haha. And then after that, we never spoke again. Then I saw her again and she was smiling. I saw her through the mirror. So I just walked up to her and I said, I just want to let you know that I was watching you in the mirror and you have such a pretty smile and you seem like you have such an infectious personality. And then it clicked and I'm like, wait, I just
just said I was watching you in the mirror. So then I try to reel it back in. And I was like, but wait a minute. It's okay though, because I'm gay. So I'm no harm. Well, technically I could be of harm, but I'm not of harm. And I'm explaining this to her and she's just looking at me. And then I was like, okay, well, have a good day. And I came up and Jason was like, you are so embarrassing. I was like, I don't know what to do.
No, I'm pretty sure she probably thought you were cute.
Yeah, but I'm just like, that's awkward.
It's not. No, honey. You're putting too much attachments to these socializations. Don't put any attachments to it. You're you. Just be you.
Yeah, I have to follow Bretman Rock. Bretman Rock is that YouTuber who goes around. He's like, listen, he's like, when I was in middle school, I treated myself like I was famous. So when I'd walk in full face of makeup with my heels on. I'd be 5 minutes late. The teacher would be like, you're late. And he'd be like, yeah, bitch, because I'm famous and I'm going to be famous. And that's why I'm late. I'm like, okay, that's too much, but I have to get a little bit of that confidence.
I'm gonna say that's a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a little bit too much.
It's like going from 0 to 160.
But the thing about it is, who are we to say that's too much? I mean, it worked for him.
Yeah.
It worked for him. And what works for you works for you. All you do is have to be Adam.
Thanks, RJ. Thanks. Well, I guess we should jump right back into it really quick as we end off this episode. Porsha goes to meet up with Dennis. Again, guys, I am a Porsha fan. Her meeting up with Dennis, I feel like whether she's talking to LaToya or she's talking to Kenya or she's talking to Dennis, Porsha has evolved so much over the seasons where she has the ability to have these tough conversations. And she's like, it is what it is. We've seen it with Kenya and LaToya, but now this episode, we saw it with LaToya and Dennis. And with Dennis, she was letting him know, look, if we didn't have a baby, we wouldn't be together. I wouldn't even be trying to do this. And just letting him know she's tired. I felt really bad for her in that moment because, again, she was a pregnant woman who was cheated on. Mind you, for who was that again? Cool Cat, who said that you think that she's a lousy mom. She was a pregnant mother who was cheated on. Her man went out there and was sleeping around, and now she's trying to navigate motherhood on her own. Well, yes, he's still supportive, but then he's trying to come over and, put cuffs on her and let her know, like, you're supposed to be acting like a 40-year-old woman. You're supposed to be acting like a mom. She's like, I'm not 40. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, yeah, sometimes Jason does that to me. He's like, you're 30 years old. I'm like, no, bitch, I'm 27. I'm not 30 yet. Okay. So no, not 30. Right?
You're a baby.
Yeah. Hey, thanks. See, I'm not 30, Jason. But you don't want people telling you that. No,
of course not.
Okay. So Porsha says, I am not, she's letting him know she said, I'm not a B word. I'm just trying to protect myself. She's been hurt. And it's almost like if you put your hand on the hot stove, how many times are you going to do it before you realize that it's hot? Right. So Porsha, I don't mean to use that analogy, but that's what Portia's pretty much letting us know. It's like, I am tired. I need to protect myself. This is not conducive to a healthy relationship or environment for our daughter, Pilar, which I like that. What a unique name, Pilar. I don't know.
It is so cute. She's so pretty.
Yeah, she is cute.
Baby.
But for this couple, do you feel like there ever could be a chance of reconciliation or no?
He just gives me slithery vibes.
Is it the eyes?
It's the eyes. It's the demeanor. It's the aura. It's everything about him. I just wouldn't trust him.
I think it's that money thing. It's like he knows that he has the money. He knows that, he has a lot of money. He knows that, money changes. Like, listen, unfortunately, you can pick the goofiest. You can pick a toad and give him $1 million, and all of a sudden that toad looks like a prince to some women. So this guy kind of has that, like you said, slithery way about him. And I think it's part of the fact that he is successful in his own right with his hot dog franchises. And yeah, he has the money. So he's just like, I can get whatever I want. Like, there are women lining up all over Atlanta to be with me. I got the money. And that's just like it makes you like,
He's treating her like the next chick. And this is not the next chick.
Exactly.
This is the mother of your child. This is a woman who has been dedicated to you. That's your fiance. And you're treating her like some garbage on the street.
Well, Kimberly Van Alstyne said, I can't even believe I just said that correctly that fast. Once a cheater, always a cheater. I'm not against that saying, only because from my experience, when I've seen people who cheat, I've seen them repeat history in doing so. So I'm not saying that people can't change, but 9 times out of 10, if somebody feels like it's like a cheater is like a serial killer. A serial killer thinks that they can keep getting away with murdering people. Like a cheater just is like, oh, I got away with it. Slept with her this weekend. So if you're going out of town next weekend, I'm going to have somebody in your bed. What? No. Okay. So we wrap up this episode with that. And moving forward to next week, we know that Drew Sidora is going to have a challenging time because her son Josiah's biological father wants back in the picture. Now, Drew doesn't necessarily have the option to push him out of the way, even though in her dream world, it would be her, Ralph, and their kids acting as if they were one big happy family that wasn't a blended family. But now she realizes that Josiah's father wants back in the picture, and she has to figure out how to make that happen. That's going to be challenging. So that's also real life problems. I'm interested in seeing how that plays out, but not as much as I'm interested in finding out what exactly happens when Kenya gets the news from Marlo that LaToya Ali is running around putting her business out there in the streets. That's going to be good.
Child, the whole thing looks like it's going to be good. Every single scene that they showed that's coming up made me want to watch.
To be fair, though, we deserve it at this point. Like, it took us a while to get off the ground with this franchise this year, so we deserve the good scenes. If you guys reserve them for the end of the season, that's fine. But now don't drop the ball. Like, keep that shit coming. Yeah. We want it, right? Yeah.
I'm definitely excited to see what's going to happen on the next episode. And then you have Fallon said, that's what poor people do. That's what poor people do, whatever. You realize that was Fallon, right?
I didn't know that was Fallon.
That was Fallon at the Halloween party.
What was she saying that in regards to?
She was like, that's what poor people say, not rich people.
Talking about what?
I don't know what LaToya said to her, but it was something probably out of the way, like how it always is when she sees Fallon. And then that's what I can't believe you didn't catch that.
I didn't catch that.
That was the part that stood out to me.
Okay, RJ, we see you. You're letting us know what's up. All right, I like that.
Honey, sometimes.
And I love Fallon Gobadia. Almost as much as I love saying her last name, so I'm here for it. And also, not to mention, LaToya shaded Fallon first, just like LaToya shaded Drew first. So if Drew takes you to Chi-Town and Fallon tells you how much money you don't have, don't get mad, sis, because you did go after them first. You went after what you called a pet on top of Drew's head and her whacked out edges that you called them. And you went after Fallon because you're saying that she's sleeping with Hugh Hefner over here in order to have a come up. You're going after other people. So if they come back to you and tell you that you're broke and they're about to take you all the way back to Chi-Town, it is what it is. You're sparking these feuds and conversations.
Child.
All right.
You can't hear my parrot, can you?
Huh?
You can't hear my parrot, can you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Saying hello.
Hello, parrot. King Tut, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually used to have a Moluccan cockatoo and an umbrella cockatoo. They were pink and white. Their names were Peaches and Cream. And they would sit on top of my stepdad's shoulder and they would open his little Budweiser beer for them and just sit there and they would just kick it. Parrots are fun. They're interesting. Again,
I love them. I love them so much. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
He keeps saying hello.
He's like, hello, let me on.
He's like, hello.
He's like, somebody come let me out of this damn cage.
I know. I'm about to.
All right. Well, RJ, before we go, can you let us know where we can find you?
Nowhere now because I'm off social media.
Oh, well, next time we're going to tell everybody where we can find you. But in the meantime, guys, hit that like button. We'll be back next week because it's going to be better and better. Hopefully, that's what we're hoping for. I want to see Fallon Gobadia read somebody for filth. It's all coming next week. And RJ is going to send me the link for you guys if you'd like to have your own mirror. I just say use at your own risk, though, because this thing makes you shady as hell. This makes you feel some type of way, makes you come out of your shell, makes you read a bitch for filth. It just makes you. It makes you. So I am not responsible for anything I do or say when I have this mirror. Just saying. Thanks, RJ. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you too.
All right. We'll see you next time. And happy Tuesday, everybody. We have more videos coming today. Also, if you guys haven't already, go check out Jason's channel, Down with Jason. He hit 1,000 subscribers today. So congratulations, Jason.
This is Jason.
Yeah. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Nice.